Okay, so I was drawn to the Light Seers Tarot again for today, and I'm reading for our Wednesday, April 28th, 2021, but also I want a message to help heal our souls. Okay, so we have the Ten of Wands, straight up, the Queen of Wands, reversed, and the Seven of Pentacles reversed. Okay. So with the Queen of Wands reversed here, some of us might be feeling a little like we just don't have our normal amount of self-confidence, or maybe you've been working hard to get out from under the burden of not having your self-confidence. And that, that happens. Confidence is something that you get naturally, or to the degree we get it or we don't. It all stems from our childhood. So if we weren't encouraged, or if we were put down, or if we were, neglected, there's so many forms of, distortions that happen in our souls. Now, of course, our parents will always mirror like our inner distortions. Where they don't is where we shine, freely, and everything is clear. And then that way, from that point of view, they don't bother. Well, we just know better. Like, for instance, I knew that it wasn't right to spank children, but my parents did. So of course it would affect you personally when you get hit, because it taught me that I didn't trust them. But me as a person, I knew that wasn't the right way to do it, growing up. So I just, I never did spank my kids. But to, for the most part, we come in with our distortions that are alike our parents, So we're having to work out our own issues. And because this is what I believe, but don't take it on if it doesn't feel right to you, or you don't believe it, that's fine too. I'll still read the mundane message of the cards always, but I believe that we choose our parents and our soul family that we incarnate into. I just do. It's the only thing that makes sense to me when I think everything through, as to where we get our beliefs. And I've studied spiritual law long enough to know that there is, the law of affinity. A lot of you may call it the law of attraction, but it's all about, like attracts like. So of course we resonate, our souls vibrate and resonate to certain frequencies, based on, that's just what we've got going on inside of us. So anyway, back to this gal. When the Queen of Wands reversed comes through, this does have to do with self-doubt and a lack of self-confidence, and especially in being able to create your own reality and to be your own, beautiful, beautiful, vibrant self. Because, when she's straight up, she knows what to do and which way to go, and she's very independent and optimistic and outgoing. But when she's reversed, now there's no judgment on this whatsoever, because not all of us are extroverts. Many of us are introverts. And the introverts tend to, do a lot of deep inner work, but so can an extrovert as well, as long as they put their power. It's always about aligning our power with our higher selves and going in the direction to grow, to go towards our personal growth, which is the way we're hardwired anyway. So when people fight it, it's just ridiculous. There's no reason to fight it. The resistance is futile, as they would say. But anyway, again, this just feels like the Ten of Wands brings in this emotional baggage that's a burden to carry around, Like in this picture, she had so much she had to get an ox to carry the rest of it. Now, sometimes this could be that, you're done with the baggage and you're dropping it off somewhere else. I don't know. It's going to be different for each one of us and different for each of us at different things at different times. But when the Queen of Wands comes through reverse, it just reminds me of not being able to be our spontaneous real self, and maybe being afraid of trusting our own spontaneous instincts, because we're talking fire energy here, and it's very instinctual. Now, fear creates, issues and distortions in our divine rays. I mean, you can see a lot of the divine ray. In fact, she's like floating or she's sitting. I don't know. She's just sitting on the ground with candles around her, or maybe she's floating. I don't know. But either way, it's very, the rays emanating outward are very, very strong. And she's like, Shazam, I know how to do this. I can bring it down into my hands, And she has her intuition to guide her. So when we have those days where that energy and consciousness is reversed, maybe we're afraid of feeling happy, because maybe our emotional baggage from the past, this would have to come from the past. Maybe our parents role modeled that it's not possible to be happy. And in fact, they might judge you harshly, like, what are you so happy about? My mom used to say stupid stuff to me, like, you're not that much. Like, what are you doing? Of course, after she'd had a couple of drinks. So, but when you're little, that's confusing, because you're just a ball of love and you're sharing yourself. And then if somebody puts you down, it makes you feel like you're not good enough, or you don't matter, or there's something wrong with you, or you're bad. And that's just not the way it's supposed to be growing up. But unfortunately, if we have any little soul distortion inside of ourselves that believes that, of course, that's why we would choose the parents we choose. So anyway, we have to accept that on Earth life is very imperfect and there's nothing inherently wrong with us, and that would turn this whole thing around. And, this card reminds me of when people are jealous. So if we're carrying emotional baggage with the Ten of Wands that has, or even, I don't know if we could call it spiritual baggage. No, I feel like it would be emotionally reactive baggage from the past. And then we meet up with people who will be jealous of us, like maybe our parents were jealous of us, or one of our parents, or one of our caretakers, or one or two of our siblings. Oh, thank goodness I didn't have anything like that in my family. My siblings are just the best. But it's so common to have sibling rivalry. And there's nothing, it's just a human thing that we go through. There's nothing judgmental about it at all. But if we have had that, then we can have these days where the past comes back, because it's time to heal it. So it's never anything to avoid or be worried about, but it's time to heal it. Because if we're afraid to go for what we want, we have to ask why. Were our parents controlling? Like, why would we not trust our own spontaneous instincts? Because, your child self deep down inside is so creative. And why would we reject that creative force within us? So we have to figure that out. Like, do we falsely believe that we have little value? What is it that we reject in ourselves? We have to figure out what that is. And that's especially true with this Seven of Pentacles reversed, because with this card reversed, we're in that realm of, having maybe the inability to plan, having experiences of procrastination and putting off, and feeling feeling like you're lazy or impatient, but maybe you're not lazy. Maybe it's just life force that's been going in the wrong direction, and it's time to, clear it out. So every time we have a good way to go about it, to do a lot of deep healing work, is that every time we have an emotional reaction of anxiety or resentment. Now, sometimes we'll have anxiety because it's actual fear coming up, because there is something to be careful about, and you want to check out your environment, and you want to be careful. Because if you move through your daily life not coming from fear, then when something is wrong, you'll definitely feel it more strongly, because you really have to pay attention. And we're all having to be extremely cautious because of COVID, right? So we're on a little bit of an edge, just moving through life now, and we're doing, but it may not apply to you in your personal life, although, we are all human, and it's probably a good idea that we all get vaccinated, right? Just because we're human, we have to accept that we have a human body to take care of. So, but anyway, if you're in a place where you're feeling angry or resentful, or this anxiety that just doesn't go away, the way I've healed a lot was to go underneath it, or just keep asking myself, what do I really, really want? What is underneath that feeling of the fear? What do I really want? Or if I'm feeling resentful, what is it that I need to speak to someone about and set a healthy boundary, rather than submitting? And because we're in that realm of the Queen of Wands reverse, where the energy works and goes against yourself, and resentment does that. It's like an internal process, and so you have to eventually, at some point, have the courage and release that baggage. That would be the way to switch that up, and invest in yourself. Truly invest in yourself and nurture yourself, setting boundaries for yourself. Or teaching other people how to respect you, basically. But you can't do that until you respect yourself. So, with that being said, just for the heck of it, why not? Let me use this other deck here. You can look at the box there while I shuffle the cards for a moment. It's actually by Ethany, and I found it on her website, and it came really fast. She shipped it like 2-day, FedEx 2-day or something. I lucked out. I've had other things that were shipped quickly and it got lost, but not from her. So, let's see, what else? Challenge, okay. Sensuality and vision. Okay, I have a different message, but let's just go with it. So, with sensuality as being the theme, that feels to me just like honoring that process of being in your body and having pleasure in your body, like nice lotion on your skin after a bath or shower, the pleasure, all the pleasure that we can receive in life being in a body, because that's who we truly are deep down inside. We're these balls of, these big balls of like 100% pleasure. And it's alive and well in the nucleus of every cell in our body too. So it's important to remember that, to take really good care of our body. And because the challenge card is over here, maybe that's what's been the challenge, and that would definitely bring in that Queen of Wands reversed, because she's all about pleasure. So maybe there's been a challenge to have pleasure in our lives, and what we need to do is start looking at life from a different angle. That would bring in this vision card imagine what it is that you want your life to be like, and go for that and rearrange your schedule. I love how she has crystals up here on her 7th chakra. On the crown chakra, that's cool. So yeah, so vision the way you want your life to be. I said that so many times, I probably sound like a broken record. But this brings in that element of, really good self-care with your body, getting enough rest, all the pleasure that you can receive being embodied. And of course, that can be a challenge sometimes in life, but if we refocus our vision back to, making everything whole, like the body, mind, spirit connection, is always there. Your body will never lie. Your body will never lie to you. It will always let you know what's going on. And it'll help you get your diet better, your sleep patterns better. It will help you learn how to take care of yourself better, because you have to think of, and I'll summarize this whole thing by giving you this, or leaving you with this one message, is to think of your body as your instrument. And without that instrument working well, you're going to have problems with the rest of your life. So to bring it back to your body. Okay. Well, that's it for today, you guys. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll be back soon. Bye.